In a bustling city surrounded by mountains and rivers, there lived a crow named Max. Max was different from other crows. While most crows searched for food or built nests, Max spent his days collecting shiny objects. Coins that glinted in the sun, broken pieces of mirror, colorful beads. Anything that sparkled caught his attention. Over time, he gathered so many shiny things that he created a hidden treasure trove inside the hollow of an old oak tree. Each morning, Max would fly to his hiding spot, open the hollow, and stare at his collection with pride. "Look at all this," he would say to himself. "I'm the richest crow in the city." His treasures reflected the sunlight in dazzling patterns, and Max believed his collection made him special. But as time went on, a strange feeling began to grow inside him. He didn't know why, but even though his treasure had grown larger, his heart often felt emptier. He would sit on the branch, staring at his shiny hoard and wondering, "Why do I still feel like something is missing?" One sunny afternoon, as Max was searching for new shiny things, he noticed a white dove perched quietly on a rooftop. The dove was staring at the sky, completely still and calm. Its white feathers glowed as the sunlight touched them, more beautiful than any object Max had ever collected. Curious, Max flew up to the dove. "What are you staring at?" he asked, tilting his head. "The sunset," the dove replied with a gentle smile. "Look at it, so peaceful, so beautiful." Max glanced at the horizon, where the sun was sinking slowly. He blinked. "It's nice, I guess. But it doesn't shine like my treasures." The dove chuckled softly. "Do your treasures bring you happiness?" Max puffed up his chest. "Of course they do. I have the best collection of shiny things in the whole city." The dove tilted its head. "And yet, here you are searching for more. If they truly made you happy, why do you need more?" The question made Max pause. He opened his beak to respond, but no words came out. Instead he muttered, "You wouldn't understand," and flew away. That night, Max sat beside his hoard of shiny objects, staring at them. The dove's question echoed in his mind. Why do you need more? He didn't know. He thought his collection would make him happy, but now he wasn't so sure. That night, Max had a strange dream. In the dream, he stood before a vast desert, and an old raven appeared before him. "Max," the raven said in a voice that seemed to come from everywhere, "you have spent your life collecting things that shine but have no real value. If you want to find true treasure, leave your hoard behind and follow the sunrise." Max woke up with a start. The dream felt so real, the raven's voice still ringing in his ears. "Leave my hoard behind," he whispered. The thought terrified him. What if I lose everything? What if there's nothing out there for me? But deep inside, a small voice urged him to go. What if there's something greater waiting for you? The next morning, just as the first light of dawn touched the city, Max made his decision. He took one last look at his treasure hoard, then spread his wings and flew east, toward the rising sun. The journey was not easy. Max flew over mountains and rivers, through forests and open fields. He battled strong winds that nearly knocked him out of the sky. He grew tired and hungry, and there were moments when he wanted to turn back. Maybe this is foolish, he thought. What if the raven was wrong? But every time doubt crept in, so he kept going. Along the way, Max began to notice things he had never paid attention to before. He saw how the morning light turned dewdrops on leaves into tiny diamonds. He heard the gentle murmur of rivers as they flowed over rocks and the rustle of leaves as the wind passed through them. He saw fields of wildflowers swaying in the breeze, their colors brighter than any shiny object he had ever found. One day, Max came across a sparrow who was struggling to find food. Without thinking, Max shared a seed he had found earlier. The sparrow chirped gratefully. "Thank you, kind crow," she said. "You've saved me today." As Max flew on, he felt a strange warmth in his chest, a happiness that was different from the pride. Further on, he met a lost heron who had been separated from her flock. Max guided her through the forest until she found her family. "I couldn't have done it without you," the heron said. With each act of kindness, Max began to understand something new. Happiness wasn't about collecting things. It was about helping others and appreciating the world around him. After days of travel, Max finally reached the top of a hill just as the sun began to rise. He gasped. Before him stretched a valley unlike anything he had ever seen. A river flowed through fields of green, reflecting the morning light like liquid gold. Flowers in every color imaginable bloomed across the landscape. The air was filled with birdsong. The beauty was overwhelming. He realized the raven had been right. True treasure wasn't something you could hoard. It was the beauty of the world, the joy of helping others, and the peace that came from living fully in each moment. When Max returned to the city, he no longer cared about his old collection. He shared his stories with the other crows, teaching them what he had learned. The real treasure, he told them, is not in what you collect but in what you see, share and experience. From that day on, Max became known not as the crow with the largest hoard, but as the crow with the biggest heart. True happiness comes not from what you have but from how you live.